I need a bigger garbage can.
We have some breaking news.
What's that? Has Janetti been cleared?
According to Variety as well as The Hollywood Reporter, again, a little news here. We're recording this on Friday this week for Saturday release. Bob Greenblatt and Kevin Riley out at Warner Media in management shakeup. Kevin Riley is the guy who signed AEW and then gave them the extension. He was Tony Khan's guy at Turner, and he is now out. He has been He has been let go.
So now you think that somebody might be in charge of TNT who is not as agreeable to having fucking bad comedy and sketches take up 2 hours of their Wednesday night primetime programming?
I don't know. I mean, again, they're not paying much for this programming, and it does do good in the one key demo, as everyone keeps saying.
Yeah.
So maybe they can say, that's all right, but also maybe Tony Khan won't have a relationship with someone to call them, and if there's any kind of problem.
Well, you know, the whole thing, and I've always taken up for the wrestling business. I can't defend this fucking program because it is embarrassing, but a lot of prick TV programmers in the past have said, I don't care if wrestling gets ratings or whatever the fuck, I'm not going to have that on my network, et cetera, et cetera. So when this show is actually acting stupid and in bad taste and on purpose more than any wrestling show ever that was, you know, targeted by one of these programmers that just thought wrestling was low rent. This really is a low rent, low brow, bad, unfunny fucking show, etc. What the fuck is somebody else going to think? They need to get their shit together and just do something that a normal television executive would not be ashamed to have on their air before it's too late. Because I can't imagine going to the program director of a local station here in Louisville and showing them a clip of this and saying, this is what we want to put on your air, and having them be excited about it.
But again, to what we spoke about earlier, the death of WCW, the true end of WCW was, what was it, Jamie Kellner?
Yeah.
Deciding that he didn't want this on the airwaves that he was overseeing anymore.
Wouldn't that be something if the same thing 20 years later at the same place happens again? They sell the company, somebody else takes over and says, fuck that wrestling.
Well, again, I want AEW to improve. I don't want it to go out of business.
Well, I want to go to Kroger and get all my food for free and a blowjob on the way out to the parking lot from a hot fucking cashier, but that's not going to happen either. So I wouldn't hold out hope for AEW improving.
Have you looked behind the dumpster?
No, the dumpster's gone, along with the Greenville Memorial Auditorium. That ain't there either. And I guarantee you, if those girls still have those fur coats, they're a bit shaggy, too.
Oh, come on.
Well, it's been 35 years.
Oh, I guess so. I guess we're looking at it just from an age perspective, yes.
Yeah.
Not a spunk perspective.
All right. They have plenty of spunk. They're spunky. Full of spunk. I told you that time that me and JR were doing commentary, and boy, that Marlena, she is full of spunk. And she didn't know that also meant bravery and courage and pluck. She just thought it meant spunk. And she said, why did you and JR say I was full of spunk? Anyway.
You must have heard a few things.
All right, now just calm down. We're not in Greenville anymore, Toto. Anyway, that was this week's Wrestlers Warring Weekly on Wednesdays, and everybody else that's gone insane. And I don't know what else to say, except I will give a proper sign off this week. Brian, do you have anything to say in closing before I do that?
I hope one of these shows improves. I actually am now really looking forward to crowds being there again, because it certainly will liven things up. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of empty arena wrestling. I'm sick of the fake crowd noise like it's a 1980s Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't like either one of these shows the last several weeks. A lot of people need to get their heads out of their asses. But what do I know? I'm, out of touch and 40, and, I only booked a very successful G.I. Joe fantasy promotion.
But it was successful.
150,000 people to the outside arena in Long Beach, New York. What does that tell you?
And I heard the pay-per-view sold out.
There was no pay-per-view. You had to be there. And if you weren't there...
No. They bootlegged the stream, and they broadcast it on pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view sold out. Everywhere around the world, there was no way to order the pay-per-view. All the pay-per-views were sold out.
It's one of the weird decisions I made as a booker. The Hawk-Doc feud, and Doc was also known as the medical man. The Hawk and Doc feud culminated in the one big match at the Outside Arena, which was also known as my porch, and there was no rematch. There was no rematch whatsoever. They had tag team matches against each other, but there was never another singles match despite the high turnout for this event.
Well, you couldn't follow it. There was no way to follow something like that.
Well, we followed it with World Mania, where Hawk went against the Commander, who was the leader of the heel charges. And also on that show, we had Backblast win the Intercontinental title from Xandar, and there were some other really big matches that people still talk about.
I think you should send your notes over to Tony Khan. He'll probably use them for next week's show.
He couldn't afford me.
By the way, what is this now? There's a guy named Khan running both major companies. Tony Khan on the left, and what is it, Nick Khan on the right? Khan!
Well, you heard what happened. John Laurinaitis hired the wrong Khan.
Okay, it can't get any better than that. That's a great one. Folks, we're done for this week. We'll see you on the Drive-Thru this coming week, where we talk about Bret Hart and Steve Austin, who actually did know how to wrestle.